Hey guys, welcome to Market Curry. Welcome to yet another episode. I am Shikhar Gupta.
I'm Roma. Hi.
And I'm Rahul. We're the hosts.
So, Roma is our batchmate from Northeastern. She's a fellow Husky and she is a double Husky. So that means she has done her undergrad and she's doing her master's right now.
That is what the entire video is about.
Yes. So we really wanted her to be on board to give us a dual perspective on how things are actually.
How things are like fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, to be quite certain, yes. But so Roma, tell us something about yourself, about your background and how you're doing masters in finance right now.
Yeah, sure. So I did my bachelor's at Northeastern 4 years ago. I mastered in business administration with a triple concentration in finance, entrepreneurship, and fintech. And then right after I graduated last May, I joined the Master's in Quantitative Finance program where I met these two.
Yeah. So Roma is my sector manager in the fund.
Yes, I am. We're in the IT and communication sector.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So how's that going?
Pretty well, bro. I mean, the IT sector is... Yeah, I like the IT sector, so...
Nice.
Yeah, it's my favorite, so that's why I chose it.
Of course. Yeah. Roma was the first one to choose, I think.
I went to IT and I chose it because when I was doing my bachelor's in Northeastern, I did 2 co-ops. The first one was doing equity research at a investment management firm in Boston where I was doing only software stocks. Mm-hmm. And then my second co-op was doing IT, like technology, investment banking.
Nice. So you come
somehow I've gotten only tech experience, so I definitely
we'll talk more about it.
That.
We'll talk more about
it. We should talk about more. So I think I met Roma very randomly at a networking event. Yeah, we were sitting at the same circle of table and nobody was coming to us. No employer was coming to us. I don't know. There was something wrong with the queue, and we were just chatting.
Nothing is wrong with the queue. Yeah. Something is wrong with the market.
That was a good one. So Roma, again you said business administration, right?
Business administration.
So let's just break the entire course down. So tell us how you had it in your bachelor's. So was it like 2 years of studying and then 1 entire year of co-op, or was it like 4 years of studying everything?
So it's basically you come in as 5 years of studying in which you do 2 co-ops, so a year of co-op, but they can't be back to back. So, but I did all of my summers, so I could finish in 4 years. Looking back at it, I don't know why I did that because I basically had no summer holidays, nothing until I graduated.
Right.
But I could finish in 4 years. I just chose to do that apparently.
Right.
But you can choose to do 3 co-ops if you want to, but because you're an international student, you only have 1 year of CPT, so you can do the 3rd co-op internationally if you want, which some of my friends did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great option.
Yeah.
So you're from India, right?
Yes, I'm from Hyderabad.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And so you did not choose to go for undergrad in India, right? So you did your schooling in Hyderabad.
Yeah.
And then you straight away went on to become a Husky.
Why?
I don't know. I really wanted to come to the US for my undergrad. I have a lot of friends who are doing that as well. I have some family in Boston, so my goal was to come to some school in Boston. I had to choose between BU and Northeastern.
Oh.
And co-op really sold it for me.
Yeah, I think it was an easy choice.
Yeah.
Easy
and I got
choice,
into the honors program at Northeastern, so they gave me like a slight scholarship as well.
Nice.
So I chose Northeastern.
How much?
$15,000 a year.
15,000 a year.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's a very good amount.
That's a good amount.
Yeah.
Very good
per
amount.
year.
And then we got like the honors program. You get to do some courses only with honor students, so they make it a little harder to do also.
Is it really that hard?
They add like 2 chapters kind of per...
2 chapters?
Yeah.
That's still manageable.
Yeah, exactly.
So just break down the entire coursework, like how many courses and what type of courses did you have?
Yeah, I think I had to do I actually don't remember how many credits, but each semester you have to do 16. So 4 classes, each class is 4 credits, which is not like our classes that are 3 credits. Minimum was 12, so you had to do at least 3 classes, and then there were additional there was like one course to prep you before you do your co-op, and one course that was like a writing course, just so you know how to write. So it was very random what you did. It's 1 or 2 semesters I did 18 credits also.
Oh.
It's much more intense coursework wise.
Right.
but a lot of the topics were not even finance. I had to do a supply chain course. I had to do like a statistical math course.
Because it was business administration.
Yeah, and then so you do your first 2 years kind of, you do the business administration stuff, and then you choose a concentration. Because I did CBSE in India, I did not come in with any credits.
Yeah.
So I had to do like Calc 1 again, which was sad because they didn't give me any credits for those.
No.
But that meant I also did not come with any credits, so I had a lot more electives to do. So usually people only do one concentration, but I had 8 other credits that I didn't know what to do with, so I did 2 more concentrations.
Got it.
Yeah.
So a lot of concentrations.
Yeah.
And you had business administration. What else as a major?
Business administration is technically my major, but my concentrations were finance, entrepreneurship, and fintech.
What did you have in fintech?
The intro to fintech course that you guys also have.
Oh, it's the same.
Yeah, pretty much. Then the reason I'm not doing the Python course this semester is because I did it in my undergrad for my fintech concentration.
So you're exempt from the Python?
Yeah.
That's the most interesting thing about this course.
Yeah. And then after that, I did a machine learning and finance course.
But machine learning, as far as I know, you should have some background in C++ or Java, right?
No, it was like a Python machine
Python.
learning course, which is focused on finance, so more about like the interpretation of the machine learning than the actual machine learning.
Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was my most intense course at Northeastern.
When did you take it? In the last year?
Yeah.
Last year of your undergrad?
Last year, like to this day, last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
So, I mean, coming on to your undergrad, the co-ops that you did, so both of these companies what were their names and what was your role exactly?
So my first co-op was at Middleton & Company, which is an investment management firm in downtown Boston. So I did equity research for them. So they basically are like a buy-side company. So I worked on their like tech sector, looking at companies to invest in. At the end of my co-op for 2 months, I did research on a company of my choosing to pitch to the investment management company, the investment management team. So because it was a small company, I worked directly under the chief of investment.
Got it.
Which was very fun.
That was amazing.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
I still talk to him. I still talk to everyone at that company, actually. They're very nice. So I chose Autodesk, which I don't know if you guys know. It's like a construction software company. So I pitched that company, which is where my interest in equity research actually started. Hence, sector manager now.
So that was your first co-op or the second co-op?
That was my first co-op.
That was your first and the second?
It was actually meant for second co-ops, but I was in another club at Northeastern called Tamid, where we also did equity research like Huntington, but it wasn't an actual portfolio.
Okay. Huntington has a university endowment, right?
Yeah. So it's much different, but like, there's actual money at stake. That one we could pitch whatever we wanted.
Makes sense.
But because I did that, I applied for this co-op that was only meant for second co-ops, but I got the job because I had the experience before, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, which was, I only got one interview when I got that job.
So why didn't either of your co-ops offer you a full-time position?
That's a great question. I actually, the first co-op, they had an opening, which I applied for, but somebody else got it, which is fine. The second co-op, they just keep hiring co-ops.
So how did they fill the position? Like somebody referred someone or you just applied very late?
For the first one, they had a full-time position for an associate. So I still kept in touch with all the management at that company. So they let me know that there was a position available.
Okay.
So I applied for the interview. I actually got to skip around because they already knew me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they just ended up going with someone else probably. I don't know. But, I needed sponsorship and all that also. Might have been an issue.
Okay.
And I'm sure the other person had more experience because it was an associate role and I was still doing, undergrad.
Okay, yeah, that one.
Yeah, you still get an interview. You still got an interview. I feel right now we're just whenever we select that option of sponsorship, I think we are rejected.
I think it's also because we are doing a graduate course.
Yeah.
We're not just doing an undergrad.
I think So I think that's a very very valid question. How do you feel the job market plays for recent undergrads and people who are about to graduate? Because I strongly feel that there is some sort of a disparity in the amount of job openings and the acceptance of graduate students as compared to undergrads.
Yeah, I also think so.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the jobs are meant for undergrads. Like
Correct.
You go out of school, they want to teach you everything you know, and they just want you to have the same experience that everyone else has. And a lot of the summer programs, they want you to apply in your junior year of undergrad and then hire you directly after you graduate. So I feel like if you don't have that pipeline, it's very hard because I wasn't able to do any summer internships in my undergrad as well because I was doing two co-ops and that was all my CPT that I had.
Got it.
But a lot of my American friends, they did co-ops, but they also did the summer internship, and that was the only thing that they got the offer from.
Okay.
So, sorry, yeah. I think masters obviously adds, whatever, experience and all of that. But the number of positions that say, undergrad and masters apply is less than, just undergrad.
I think it's a very different situation for us to go for a master course and for you to go for a master course.
Correct.
Because for us, it's like a totally different thing. We both graduated from commerce, like we did our undergrad in commerce. So we had like completely different topics. You're already like adding up to the topics right now.
Yeah.
So that's a very different thing about
this. For you to be business relevant here, because you have the relevant work experience through co-ops, and now you have additional quantitative fields and other things that you're studying right now, I feel you have a stronger chance in, I won't say that anybody else's chances are low, but she has a stronger one because of her background.
I think in some ways mine might be stronger because I did my undergrad here, but like there's so many people who have much better work experience even if it's in India.
Correct.
But like I just did co-ops and like a basic analyst role, so many people I've met at masters have done like 3 years, 4 years of experience. So I think it's like very it's very like different areas of.
No, I understand, which is fair. But yeah, in the market right now, I don't think they're really fond of people with experience from different countries.
Yeah, I just think the sponsorship is such a big issue that you have to get over first. That after that, everything is like a level playing field, but you just have to cross.
Yeah. So last year, while you were studying and while you were applying for the jobs, did you think that the next year could be very good in terms of the job openings?
Yeah, last year when I was applying, I was hoping that this year would be much better because last year was very bad. A lot of my even the American friends I had didn't get jobs and had to do something else and then get their jobs afterwards.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the luxury of just sitting and waiting,
right?
Because I had to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you decided to go for the master's course.
Yeah. Also, my undergrad was in business administration technically, so only 1 year of OPT. So
not a STEM.
Not gonna get a STEM extension. This one made sense to do.
So why do you go for MSQF, Quantitative Finance? Why not an MBA since you're from a business background?
I didn't want to do an MBA right after undergrad. I thought I would give it like a few years of work experience. I think you need generally. Also, I wanted the STEM obviously, but I really like math and computers. Computer science, I like Python.
Machine learning.
Don't talk about that course. That course is so hard.
You already had a lot of work experience. Why did you choose to go for a master's in finance? Why not MBA?
It's not a lot of work experience, first of all. 2 years, 2.5 years. 2.5 years. That's still decent, but in order to get a good, even Northeastern requires 4 to 5 years of work experience.
So why didn't you wait for 1 or 2 years more?
Because MBA was something that I wasn't considering at this point of time. I was thinking of specializing into my interests, and I wanted to upskill myself into more of programming as well.
Yeah.
So that's why the course is so relevant to myself and to the market. I feel that it's a very viable option to go for. But however, being my nature, I like people, I like talking to people, and I like being in teams, working in teams. So MBA is something that might come naturally to me, and I might go for it in the later stage of my life, be it an executive MBA after grabbing a couple of more years of experience. But right now I feel that it was rightly timed for my master's, so that's why I chose this. And of course the STEM extension, it's a STEM course. Yeah. You get to work here, you get to work more into a new, different kind of a culture. So
yeah.
Should we talk about culture?
Yes.
So it's a very different picture for Roma and for us, because we have a lot of Indian friends around.
Yeah.
There are just Indian and Chinese people. How was your experience being around Americans?
It was very different. Honestly, I was very shocked when I started my master's courses. There were so many Indians.
No, in your undergrad.
Yeah, it's very different because in my undergrad, it was mostly Americans. Obviously, there were some Indian people, some people from every culture. Northeastern is good that way that it's not only Americans, there's a lot of international students as well. But especially my finance courses, mostly Americans, mostly men, which was very different from now it's 50-50, which I really like. But in my undergrad courses, there was maybe 5 women in each course, in finance especially.
That's something new. I didn't know.
Was it a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, I didn't mind it. Obviously, I prefer more women and all that. But it just made me work a little harder, I guess, to try and stick out in the crowd. I guess.
And now come to this day, masters, how do you feel the class dynamics are?
I think it's very different just based off of like everyone, in undergrad you have like, let's see, a lot of variety in the number of people that are there. So you have to talk to everybody, you have to get to know everybody. But here it's like you already feel like a sense of, belonging or whatever. Like you walk in, you already see like, there's Indians here, there's Asians there, whatever. I think it's hard to like talk to the other,
cultures.
Group of people.
Correct.
You have to make an effort to try and, talk to people, and some people don't want to talk to you, whatever.
Correct.
So how were the people around you? Were they like welcoming or?
In undergrad?
Yeah.
In undergrad, everyone's very welcoming because everyone's very different. And also, like, you live together also. Like, the first 2 years in Northeastern, you're required to live in a dorm. So I saw people, and like, usually it was like all business people are in one dorm. So everyone I saw in my dorm, I saw in my classes. So I had no choice but, and in the dining hall. So I had no choice but to talk to everybody. We had events that we went to, and clubs were a much bigger deal.
Right.
You spend 50% of your time in clubs.
That's how you build your resume.
Yeah, exactly. So I talked like the same people over and over and over again. So it was definitely like
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the other day, I and Shekhar were talking about how like the recruiters here follow a very different process. Like if they see your resume has something like founder or co-founder, you like end up getting an edge over the other people. Do you think that's really the case, or have you not experienced anything like that?
I have not experienced it. Like I don't think I've seen that, but I know a lot of people. Especially because I was doing the entrepreneurship concentration, a lot of people I know like started their own companies, even if it was something small. There's an accelerator on campus called Idea,
correct.
So a lot of my like other business classmates were doing that and coming up with ideas. All of my entrepreneurship courses, you had to come up with an idea and pitch that to the professor.
That's nice,
and there are all these competitions. And a lot of the competitions gave you money if you won to start. There was also like a fintech competition.
Like a business case competition.
Business case competition. There's a club called Disrupt that does fintech, that you pitch your ideas, and if you get first place, you get like $6,000 or something to start your.
I mean, there is some.
That's a seed fund. That's the seed fund.
Yeah, and then all the judges of the competition are people in the industry who want to help you.
Okay.
So,
nice.
Yeah.
I had one question.
Yeah.
I mean, off to what we were discussing right now. But how do you feel? You've studied undergrad for 4 years, right? And now you're doing your masters. You've done 1 semester. So how do you feel the teaching style has varied from undergrad to suppose a subject like financial math? How do you feel that those subjects have played out? How differently they have played out in your experience?
The one big difference I can tell you is all of my undergrad classes had attendance and participation grades, which is very different from my master's classes. My first semester, I took financial math, I took alternative investments, and quantitative portfolio management.
Oh, she know, of course.
Because I did corporate finance investments in my undergrad.
Correct.
So the other two, the quantitative portfolio management and alternative investments, were all people who were graduating. Half of them, didn't have to show up to class. It was very empty. They just watched the videos online and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my undergrad classes, a lot of my finance classes, a lot of my other classes, 30% of my grade was participation in class, like answering
30%.
questions, asking questions. Yeah. And I feel like that really made me, like I used to be a very introverted person.
Yeah.
And that made me actually like talk in class and actually like look through all the content and make sure I knew what was happening. Because, if you're cold call and you answer something, you have to at least be half right.
Correct.
So I think that was the big difference I saw in my undergrad and my grad courses, where we don't have any participation grades. It's all like a fixed income class, just exams is all that matters, which is a very different style. But the professors are teaching it the same way,
Is it like the same? Is it fast paced as it is in masters, or is it?
I think it's definitely equally like fast paced in undergrad and grad, but I think the expectations they have for you are higher, obviously.
In masters.
For masters.
Makes sense. And the timings for you, like during undergrad, how often did you go to class during a week, and how long was the class for? I mean, it was like 4 hours per week for each class, and I basically went to every single class. Like there was no excuses or anything. I mean, in between we had COVID, so it was like online was an option where you had to come through Zoom because of all the restrictions.
Did you go back to India during COVID?
Yeah, in 2020 I went back to India for a year and then came back here, which was another issue because all my classes, I was awake in India at 5 a.m. doing my classes, and then after that till 7 a.m. I had my club meetings. My sleep schedule was very weird.
No, sweet. So I think, I mean, that was from the perspective of like undergrad and grad. Now that you're into a graduate course, what do you expect from the course? And first of all, why did you choose Northeastern? What were the points that went into it? And why not any other institute? I mean, I'm sure you have an undergrad from US.
Mm-hmm.
You could have leveraged that into applying to any other colleges. So why only Northeastern?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, because I did my undergrad here, I felt like very it was my home, safe space, whatever. I really like the experiential learning part. The 360 Huntington Fund was a big reason why I also applied, because I didn't see that anywhere else where you could actually do something that wasn't like an internship. Obviously, Double Husky got a scholarship. That was a plus.
Yeah, of course.
And I think I was looking specifically for Masters in Quantitative Finance, like a STEM finance program. There were very few of them that were not Ivy League stuff that I wanted to apply to. Also, I did not write a GRE or a GMAT.
Oh.
And I mean, my option was either apply to the ones that don't need it, and if I don't like it, go back to India, write it, and come back here. But I didn't want to go for a year back home.
And back then it was waived off, is it?
Yeah, it was waived off for our batch.
During COVID.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah. So it seemed like a good opportunity. Didn't want to go back to India. I wanted to stay for a year.
Sweet.
So yeah.
So did you work on campus while you were in your undergrad?
No, actually, most of the on-campus jobs are reserved for master's students, which makes sense, especially if you're part-time
You're not
or
getting
something. Well, technically, they're supposed to be. Undergrad, I mean, I guess there was some stuff in the library and stuff.
Yeah.
But most of it, you don't even apply to unless you're a master's student.
Oh, got it.
Okay, that makes sense, because I think in masters is all about it's just 30 or 40% of the coursework, studying, and the rest is just seeking an internship, looking for an internship or a job. And undergrad, I think it's more of 30% of studying, 30% of the clubs, and the rest is just internship hunt or job hunt.
Yeah, makes sense, I think. So what from now, I mean, what are you targeting, say, for the next 6-7 months or the next year after you've done your graduation year?
Well, first of all, looking for a summer internship. I think we all are.
Of course.
Need to keep applying, need to keep trying about something. But I guess obviously my focus is full-time position. Even if I don't get a summer internship, I really want a full-time position, obviously.
Yes.
It's good that we have 3 years. So technically, you could do something you don't like for a year and then have 2 years to find a proper one that sponsors.
Correct.
My preference right now is equity research because I really liked it from my first CoOp and then all the clubs and all of that. That's definitely a little there's not many direct entries into that.
Correct.
Which is why my second CoOp was in investment banking. I wanted to see if I could handle the hours, working in an American investment bank.
Could you?
The answer was no. I really liked my CoOp, but I don't think I could do that for 2 years,
The working hours too fucked.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
I was always, if someone texted me, I had to work on it, and I just really like my first CoOp.
I don't think I am very used to this in back. It's the same thing in consulting. You have to be on point and on responsive every time. Yeah. Every single time you're possibly boarded in by the client or by your manager. You have to.
Exactly. So
people already know about how investment banking is.
Yeah, a lot of people know it, but unless you do it, you don't really understand.
Exactly.
Even I was it's all that's fine with me. But then I started it.
I'm not like other people. I can do it.
Yeah, I was like, I can do it for 2 years. But I was like, is the 2 years worth what the opportunity is in the future? Maybe I'll try for the opportunities first. If that doesn't work, we'll see.
Yeah. Do you think someone who is ready to take a loan and then come to the US for masters or for bachelors, should he or she think about it right now, or is it a very good option to take a loan and then come to the US just for a bachelor's course?
For bachelor's?
Yeah.
I would say I really enjoyed my bachelor's. So I would say it's worth it. Maybe
they're taking a loan, they won't enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But all of my American friends have FAFSA and all that. All their loans, student loans, much more intense than what we have. I'd say you should be an option, but you could always get a very similar education in India. Correct. It's just you have to weigh pros and cons to see. Because again, once you come here, there's the standard of living and expenses are much higher.
Absolutely.
So it wouldn't be just a loan for
Tell us about it.
all the
it's a
rent
very good
and
experience.
everything.
Yeah, it's a good experience.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course. At this point, I'm not sure if it's actually reaping your results, but I'm sure it will in the future as well. But if you talk about a couple of years back, I feel that undergrads did get a lot of leverage. I mean, my friends who came to study here for undergrad from school, directly from school, they actually are working. They're working. They're earning well here.
Yeah.
They're settled here and in good places like New York and even Boston and even the West Coast. So I feel that it is viable, but at this point of time, I feel that
I think after COVID, there were lot of things that shifted around.
Yeah.
Before that, everyone was same kind of path.
Correct. So undergrad is a risky bet at this point of time, I feel.
Yeah, but I think because it's a 4-year long program, eventually it will be better.
Exactly.
Versus like a master's, I would say maybe like wait a bit.
Yeah,
exactly.
But undergrad, either way, you'll be.
In our last podcast, this is what we said. Like if you're coming here for a master course, just wait for a bit.
Just wait for a.
But bachelor's, I think it's a good thing, bro, because it's a 4-year long course, so you'll have a lot of time to.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I've seen a lot of investment banks post like open positions 1 year or like 15
a long
months
time
prior.
before. Like 2025 positions are open now. The finance cycle is very weird. They want you to decide what you want to do a year before you're actually doing it.
More than
like
it's like 15 months before.
But that's all meant for undergrad, so either way you know what you're doing. So that's why it's like focused that way. Because even in my undergrad, everyone was applying 1 year before, doing their CoOp and then doing their summer internship.
Do you think Ivy Leagues have a huge edge over other universities?
Especially in finance, the Ivy Leagues, like if they see that on your resume, sometimes they'll filter out the non-Ivy Leagues in some companies, I've been told. So I would say an Ivy League is a big plus, especially in your undergrad, if you're doing like something like finance where there's like a top 5 or like also the recruiters go directly to those colleges and recruit from there. So it's definitely a plus, but it's going to be a lot more work and a lot more, intensity. So
of course.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I think.
What's the length of the video? Like?
It's 26 minutes.
Yeah, I
think that's a very, very good chat.
Is there something else you would like to like tell people? Someone who wants to come to the US to do bachelor's.
Yeah, I'd say communication skills is something my undergrad taught me that I don't know if I would have learned as much in India. Like even in my co-ops, all the feedback I got from my managers was stop doing this much work and go talk to people more, which was very weird for me coming from India. I'm like, why do you want me to stop doing work? So I think being able to communicate, being able to have small talk with managers, because that's the way you get to know them and stay connected with them later, not just how much work you're doing or how good your math is or something like that.
Correct.
So working on that while you're still thinking about it would really help you.
Yeah, perfect. I think that's a very
good suggestion.
Very good point. Yeah. So thank you so much, Roma. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.